Good evening and welcome to Toyota Park for tonight's NWSL match between the Chicago Red Stars and the Western New York Flash. My name is Ben Solomon and it is my pleasure to be with you on this season opener for the Chicago Red Stars, who will take the field at Toyota Park this evening as a second part of a doubleheader, which features the Chicago Fire and New England Revolution, who played to a 1-1 draw in the first game this afternoon.
Things get even more frustrating.
This evening I am joined in the booth by Janet Rayfield, current head coach for the women's soccer team at the University of Illinois. Janet, it is a pleasure to be with you this evening.
Ben, absolute pleasure to be here on such a wonderful night. Some exciting soccer in the game before us and certainly some exciting soccer to come.
Absolutely, and it is a perfect night for soccer here in Chicago. Temperatures hovering in the mid-50s now, but it was a sunshiny day today. A little bit of breeze coming from the far side to the near side as we get started today. Western New York, we'll give you the lineups in just a moment, but Western New York in their red kits moving right to left. Chicago in those fancy new hoop kits moving left to right today.
And I'm not normally a hoop jersey fan, but the blue and white hoops I've become a fan of. So, they stay in that light color frame and they look great.
They do. So, Chicago Red Stars starting lineup today. Of course, it's Karina LeBlanc in goal, who comes to the Red Stars, starts for them, coming off a championship performance for Portland last year. Back four for Chicago includes Rachel Kwan, Jackie Santa Catarina, Julie Johnston, and Michelle Winino. The midfield, Julian Sitch, Lori Kolupny, and Alyssa Motz, Adriana Leon, Jen Hoy, and Vanessa DiBernardo, who you know a few things about and who has the ball now for Chicago coming through the midfield.
Absolutely. Vanessa, one of the draft picks here with the Red Stars, and certainly I think going to be a key for the Red Star, how their young players can perform in this opener on a big stage here in Toyota Park.
And an early chance here for Western New York down the flank, but it's blocked out of play. Good job by Rachel Kwan checking back, and that was a great ball played through there by the centerpiece of Western New York's attack last week, Vicky Losada.
Again, I think another key is can Vicky Losada continue what she started last week, 2 goals and an assist? Can she, especially with Abby's absence, can she make an impact here today?
That's right. Western New York without star Abby Wambach, but it's pretty much status quo from their first game last week as Losada plays this in. That ball is flicked away from danger, now finally out by DiBernardo. Salem back to Palmer, who gets the start again at left back for Western New York. Salem and Palmer play a 1-2 game. Winino is there to cut it away. And Alyssa Motz, who has scored in every preseason game for the Red Stars. She gets the start tonight ahead of some others. Head coach Rory Dames excited about the offensive capabilities of his team heading into the season. although undeniably the Red Stars are a little green when it comes to experience. So we'll look to see how well they can be relied on early in the year before reinforcements arrive, namely with Kristen Press and Melissa Tancredi, among others.
You know, absolutely. Those two are certainly going to add something to this Red Stars team. The offensive capabilities of Kristen Press and the power and explosion of Tancredi. But this will give this young team some opportunities to get some things together and see where the young players are and see how they're going to complement those two when they actually do arrive here in Chicago.
That's right. Western New York, of course, the regular season champion last season. They continued their form, winning 3-1 last week in an impressive performance over the Washington Spirit. That was on the road for the Flash, back-to-back road games. So they do have a game in over the Red Stars, who, as I mentioned earlier, this is their season opener. So a little bit better game form maybe for Western New York heading in. So Adriana holds up play here, serving in that middle striker role for Western New York. Here's Lasada. Barzuk mishandles and out of play. A little bit of nerves early. Jen Hoy was giving chase up top for Chicago. She's serving as a striker there with Lori Kolupny just tucked in behind her, it looks like, early on here by head coach of the Red Stars, Rory Dames.
Yeah, certainly looking sort of 4-3-3, but, I think in defense you'll see the two wide flank players from Chicago tuck in a little bit and leave Jen Hoy high, and certainly a dangerous threat when she's up there by herself. You don't want to let her get going and get flying at you because she's got some pace to really put you under pressure.
That ball is played long. Rachel Kwan gives chase. She gets there first, plays it back to LeBlanc. LeBlanc forward. Not quite clear. Touched down there by over to Vanessa DiBernardo now. She has Jen Hoy. She's marked by both defenders. Now tries to play Hoy clear. And Hoy is clear. Now she's going to be flagged for offsides. It was very close up here. But the offsides is given there.
Well, and that's maybe where the game advantage comes into play there. Just a little bit of timing off between the server and the runner there. Jen Hoy taking off. Vanessa DiBernardo with a little bit late maybe with the service, but certainly you see where the pace of Jen Hoy can certainly get behind defenses, and that's one they hope to connect on, I'm sure, down the road.
Yeah, Jen Hoy definitely looked like to have a lot of space moving through on the flank after she shook free of the two center backs from Western New York. Lasada's all over the place, wins it to McCall Zerboni. Palmer, back to Barzuk. Inside, Lloyd wearing a face mask, it looks like.
Yeah, I think in the same game that Abby broke a bone, Carly took one to the face, and from what I hear, took one again in a training session. So she's got the mask on and is certainly protecting her face and nose from any further injury.
And that was a shot from Adriana that was right at LeBlanc, and LeBlanc took a bump from the other Spanish international featuring for the Western New York Flash, Lasada. Zerboni stuck her foot in to win that. Lasada chips it back into Zerboni, who just couldn't quite corral it. DiBernardo's out to Kolupny. Wide. Here's Alyssa Motz. Motz tries to drive past Palmer. Palmer gets there first. Plays it off Motz and out of play. So, Janet, who are a couple players that you're looking to watch during this season opener for Chicago?
Well, I think certainly, Julie Johnson playing in the back line as a young player in this league. Can she really control that back line? Playing next to Jackie Santa Catarina, who certainly has played defensive midfield, but I think the control of this back line right now rests on Julie Johnson's shoulders, and I think that's going to be key for them defensively. Can she read the game, keep this line organized? Certainly the experience of LeBlanc behind her has to help that.
Yeah, absolutely. LeBlanc will be heavily relied upon to provide that veteran leadership to a defense that pretty unexperienced, as you alluded to. So we'll see if they can hold up. It'll be interesting to see where Melissa Tancredi will get placed in there. And also Shannon Box when she comes back into form. There's a tackle from Motz. Got the back of Palmer. Will be a free kick there. And Winino took the warning from the head referee there after the foul. So it will be a free kick for Western New York. Vicky Losada will take this for Western New York. A few players lined up at the top of the box, looking for the service. Low driving ball over the head of Kolupny. Not quite down, and then finally out by Sitch. Not clear of Salem, though. Salem sprays it wide. The cross is deflected in. Johnston got a head in. She had to do it. Adriana was right there waiting to poach it. Western New York still works on the far side, and Quan couldn't get it clear. Carly Lloyd, hounded by Kolupny, got rid of it to Salem. Dropped it in for Adriana, and now taken away by Vanessa DiBernardo and out.
You know, and that's the kind of Julie Johnson that I'm used to seeing, you know, with the U20s, you know, her fight in the box, and, you know, she just is going to make sure that ball doesn't get anywhere in the box where someone can finish, and head, foot, she's going to get something on it, and that's the typical Julie Johnson, and I think that's, you know, why she will be important to this Red Stars team.
She definitely looks comfortable out there so far. Here she is, getting the tackle in on Zerboni, and then she took a knock. She stays down. We play advantage. Kolupny tries to go outside of the right to the far side. It's Adriana Leon. Leon plays this back into the middle. Hoy flips it forward. Kolupny's in here. She's now flagged off sides, and the flag is up. Off sides on Lori Kolupny on the return pass from Jen Hoy. What did you think there, Jenna? Do you think that was offsides?
Hard to tell, because I think she had moved into an offside position and then stopped, and the back sort of caught up with her. So the timing of that was pretty close. You know, she certainly was in an offside position early, but then as she stopped and the backs continued to drop, it was awful close.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think initially she was offsides, and then it looked closer once the ball finally got to her. But as it stands, an early chance. She was definitely open on that return pass from Hoy. Good little connection between those two so far.
Absolutely. I think, you know, what we're seeing right now is both Vanessa and Lori have been able to get the ball behind their midfield and be running at their back line. And that, if we can continue to see that from the Red Stars, I think they'll continue to be dangerous. You got Motts and Hoy up there. And that's right now giving the Chicago some chances to get in behind that back line.
Here's Adriana Leon. Good-looking ball, but Barzuk was able to win it first. Now Taylor goes back. All the way back to Lydia Williams, who's making her second starting goal after the terrible injury to Adriana French, changing Western New York's plans at their last line of defense as the season got underway. Taylor forward for Zerboni. Now back to Kat Reynolds. Salem touches it off again, now forward. That's going to be easy for LeBlanc, who settles things down. So we're 10 minutes in. No score yet. No major chances other than the one the Red Stars just had, maybe with Lori Kolupny being flagged off sides. Pretty even game so far, I'd say.
I would agree. I think both teams are feeling each other out a little bit. Certainly the battle in the midfield is rampant, and seeing who can win that battle. Right now, probably the Red Stars winning that battle, being able to get DiBernardo and Kolupny in behind the midfield, looking at the back line and able to serve a ball. I think that's been so far the positive things that have happened on the Red Stars side.
Yeah, head coach for the Red Stars, Rory Dames, has to be feeling pretty good about how well Lori Kolupny has been involved. She's always a threat running at defenders, especially with you compare her to Carly Lloyd so far, who hasn't been as involved as maybe Kolupny has been. This is forward for Losada. Didn't like her options and now gets shoved off by Lori Kolupny. Physical play from Kolupny. Don't see it too much. She's usually on the worst end of it, but she won that battle until the referee gave it away for a free kick.
Yeah, looking back at 2013, I think these two teams were number 1 and number 2 in fouls. So
that's right.
Don't think that it's going to be a game that isn't without a little bit of physical contact.
That's right. Chicago built their reputation last year on a blue-collar, workman-type effort in most of their games. Never quit attitude was really a staple of their season last year. As that ball's played in, it's half chance there, and that hit the crossbar. Looked like Barzuk hit the crossbar there. Didn't seem to worry LeBlanc, but it maybe should have, and now that's played out of bounds on the near side by Zerboni.
I think maybe that little breeze that we have maybe kept that from going over the top that LeBlanc thought it was going, and certainly hit the crossbar with a ball I think she was just trying to keep in bounds.
Absolutely.
Almost turned into a goal for Western New York.
Sitch, chased by Lloyd. Adriana Leon tried to give it back to Kwan, but that's deflected off a Flash player, and out of play. It'll be a Red Stars throw to Rachel Kwan. There's Carly Lloyd getting involved, forcing the ball to be popped up in the air. Zerboni easily won the header, but it's right to Sitch. Good steal on the far side. Reynolds. Adriana Leon came back to win that, though. Did well to do so. Threatening position there. Here she is again. Tried to get in behind the Flash defense. Cut out. Held up here and taken away. A little frustrated there was Sam Kerr. That ball's played through now. Jen Hoy. Jen Hoy has Alyssa Motts making a back post run. Hoy's into the 6. Right to Williams.
Again, another chance for the Red Stars with, midfielders running that back line, able to play a forward in. Certainly wish that Jen Hoy could maybe do something with that ball, find Alyssa Motts or find Vanessa DiBernardo coming in behind at the top of the box. But certainly another chance where that pace on the flank and the runs in behind their defense are proven to be forced to reckon with for the Red Stars.
Yeah, she's definitely caused Western New York something to think about, giving them something to think about. Salem tried to play that wide overlapping ball to Palmer, out of play. Jen Hoy, a couple sprints and now hands on hips, saying no thanks, Winino, when the throw was being ready. Winino get another shot at it. This time it goes into Hoy. Does well to elude Salem. Yes, she does. Winino. Good pressure by Western New York. Maybe too good, though, as Winino is fouled by Lasada. '15th minute here, Lloyd. Red Stars, of course, their former venue when they were a WPS franchise. And it's a fantastic venue for soccer here in Bridgeview. DiBernardo restarts with a driving ball. Headed out by Western New York. Kolupny corrals for Chicago. Sends that back across, but it's really no problem for Lydia Williams.
And I think that's a hard part for a team that's playing their first game, that final pass, that final ball, that final pass from the flank, finding somebody in the box. So certainly I think Chicago's doing what they want to do in terms of getting opportunities in that attacking part of the field. Now they want to see if they can make better choices and better serves at that last moment.
Yeah, I think just a little. You can hear Coach Dames yelling from the sideline there. I think he has two options here, Kolupny or Vanessa DiBernardo. I thought I heard him yell Vanessa, but we'll see. Kolupny joins her in the corner. It does look like Vanessa DiBernardo is setting up to take this. Options in the box include Santa Catarina. Here's a high ball over the head of Johnson, excuse me. That's to Leon. She tries to chip this back in. Motts was offsides, and that's what the flag goes up. Looking at the Chicago midfield, we were a little interested to see how they were going to line up a little bit. You mentioned to me before the game started 3 more attacking-minded players between DiBernardo, Kolupny, and Julian Sitch. It does look like Sitch is the one who has dropped into more of a holding role for this team.
Absolutely. She's certainly playing in that role. She's the ball winner, and they're going to give her that role in this midfield. And it sets DiBernardo and Kolupny.
Salem was there, a timely challenge from her, and gets this away from Carly Lloyd, and that was Sitch, who had sparked that run with a great pass from deep midfield. Good chances here from Jen Hoy and Chicago early on. We are in the 17th minute. Long ball from Johnston looking to pick out Leon. She can have some speed. She gets there but can't keep it in. We'll go for a goal kick for Western New York. Still 0-0. Williams finally back into play. Zerboni flicked it on. Sitch and Lloyd collided. Comes out for Adriana. Winino gets there first in front of Lasada and plays it back to Johnston. Winino. Lloyd steals it from Sitch. Inside here. Kerr. Try to fancy to Palmer in Western New York here. Adriana tried to funnel that through to McCall Zerboni, who fouled Kolupny a couple times. Free kick for Chicago. Big collision there, and that hit right off Carly Lloyd's face mask there. Caused her a little bit of discomfort. That cannot feel good. I don't care how much protection that gives you.
No matter how much padding you have there, something's still got to put pressure on those bones and on that nose, and I'm sure that's not comfortable.
Yeah, I pretty much heard the clank off the plastic of the material up here in the booth. So seems to be all right, though, as Kwan sends a cross in here. Motts is lurking. Collides with Williams. The match tonight, Motts scored in every preseason game from Chicago. She also, there's a great steal here by Vanessa DiBernardo. Has options, tries to play Kolupny through. Can she get there? No, she can't. Williams was smart off her line. Seeing that pass through, just couldn't quite get it right.
Just a little bit off again on the pace of that pass. A little too close to Lydia Williams. Does a good job coming off her line. But right now, that combination of DiBernardo and Kolupny winning balls in the midfield and getting forward and playing balls certainly is given.
Very good so far with the combination between DiBernardo and Kolupny, and then Sitch has done very well handling the midfield there in a defensive role. Foul here on Carly Lloyd. Given a final warning here. Great crowd still on hand at Toyota Park that stayed after the Chicago Fire game. Saw that draw as an interesting game, fun game to watch, and very, very good crowd on hand.
You couldn't ask for a much better go in front of such a great crowd tonight, and a lot of, I'm sure, Fire fans that we hope become Red Stars fans.
That's right. And Chicago has earned every single one of these nice days after this winter. Every single one. Winino working the near side here. Didn't get a call, and instead will go out for a goal kick for Western New York. 22nd minute. Still 0-0, Toyota Park here in Chicago, Illinois. Barzak out of the back. Knocked down by Hoy. Back for LeBlanc. Other than that one that hit the crossbar, really Karina hasn't had much to do so far, which has to be a great thing to see with this young defense back here working against a top team like Western New York. That's a good-looking ball from Johnston just over the head of Kolupny. Kat Reynolds now for Western New York brings the attack the other direction. Adriana tried to slide it off for Lloyd. Sitch won that and went back to Johnston. Through the midfield, it's been more over the top.
Certainly, you've seen Chicago sort of try to play in behind that and pick up balls sort of like Kwan just did right there, and then try to play that ball through. So you certainly have seen some balls trying to stretch this Western New York defense.
And now Western New York has Chicago stretch at the back. As Santa Catarina is up to the physical challenge there. Wins that back to LeBlanc. Kolupny found Hoy, who goes wide for Motts. Motts on Palmer. Hasn't had too much luck on Palmer. That'll go out. Delayed call will be a Red Star throw-in. Here's DiBernardo. And Janet, some people have questioned whether Vanessa will be able to hold up from a physical standpoint. No, she has the technical ability. Here's Kolupny. She's played this in front for Hoy, and just a little too far again for Chicago, almost finding those balls in behind. Questioning whether Vanessa can stand up to the physical challenges day in and day out at this level of soccer. Obviously, she has the physical tools, the technical ability, but what are your thoughts on that as someone who has coached her?
I think she's, a couple of odd injuries in the last couple years of her college career. But she played an incredible World Cup year-long cycle at the high level in terms of training and competing, and certainly withstood that. And then into the college season, which is a really dense, competitive season. So the one thing I know about Vanessa is she takes care of her body and she does the things that she needs to do. And, she's come back great from the sprained MCL. I really think that she'll do fine in terms of holding up for it, because I think she takes care of her body. Her fitness level is incredible, and those are two of the things that I think can really help you when it comes to withstanding the physical demands of the game at this level.
Red Stars will definitely need her, especially with Shannon Box, among others, on the bench so far, coming back from. It'll be interesting to see where Melissa Tancredi will fit into this lineup, too, for Chicago when she is done with her schooling in June. We're expecting both Kristen Press and Melissa Tancredi to be back in the Chicago lineup around the June timeframe. It's getting to that point with points is going to be the key for Chicago, especially with the way their schedule is kind of situated. Samantha Kerr gives chase to Santa Catarina and gets past Santa Catarina. Here's Kerr looking for Adriana, and Julian Sitch played that over the top of her goal and turned around and said, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." I think the fans took a big, deep breath as that one sailed over the crossbar.
I think Kwan thought she had a chance to get that pass over the top, and then a battle with Santa Catarina. So I think the Red Stars fortunate that didn't find its target in the box, and will defend this corner kick.
Yeah, Adriana was lurking there. If the pass got its way through, now the corner kick sent in. Santa Catarina couldn't get to it, and now she kind of toe pokes it out. Jen Hoy checking back to try to clear this. Still not out of danger yet. Adriana shields. Salem has a lot of options. Goes wide. This is Reynolds. Sends a first-time cross in. Found a free header. That was Sam Kerr, but it's over the top. And we still have no score in the 27th.
And you've seen Western New York get in on that right flank several times in behind Rachel Kwan, and I think that's going to be something they have to figure out and fix and deal with over there, as they find that space in behind Rachel. It's been effective for them several times in this game, and certainly they're connected in the box.
Now this is interesting. This is an injured player here. It's Palmer who is down, holding the left hip, and I saw her grab that maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago, and so now it looks like that she is determined that she might not be able to continue here. And as we look at Palmer, yeah, it looks like she is grabbing that left hip flexor area maybe. So this will be interesting to see if Western New York might have to take an early go at the bench and bring somebody on. They do have Williamson back from suspension, so she is available on the bench if that's the direction that Western New York chooses to go. But we'll see. Palmer being tended to now. I was going to ask you, Janet, what's the type of challenges that Rory Dames likes to play, the system where his outside backs get into the attack a lot? How do you kind of counteract the potential for the opponent to kind of get in behind you on the flanks?
And that really does rely on the rest of your team to defend, because the easiest way to keep that ball from going in on that flank is to get pressure on the ball. It's that midfielder or that back who can hit that long ball with no pressure on them that really can cause you problem, whether it's on the counterattack or just in the run of play, playing that ball in behind. And that's what both teams have actually been able to do a little bit, is find that moment when they don't have pressure on the ball and find that long ball onto the flank or in behind that back line. So I think the teams are battling to see who can get a free player in the midfield who's got the ability then to serve that ball.
Yeah, I agree. I think what we've observed so far is that the flanks have been a little bit more fruitful for both teams in terms of garnering some attacking positions. The midfield, a little clogged through the middle, but each team has been able to find some success to the flanks, and Palmer definitely looks like she is in a lot of distress, maybe cramps of some kind. She grabs around the hip and the lower back area, but she is looking very ginger as she heads off. And that does not look good. Does not look promising for the rest of her afternoon. She was playing pretty well, keeping Motts in check down here on this Chicago's right flank.
I definitely think that this isn't a substitution they probably want to make, because she has been very effective. Motts tried to go at her a couple times early on and play a ball past her and run by her, and certainly her pace and athleticism didn't allow that. And that's something I'm sure Western New York would wish they could keep on the field.
Absolutely, and I think that was maybe one of the points that Western New York was a little, maybe not nervous about, maybe a little cautious about how Palmer would continue to hold up for head coach Aaron Lines, but she's performed admirably today, but her day may be finished here. As it stands, they're back in play here. Santa Catarina brings it forward. Western New York down to 10 momentarily, as the Western New York staff figures out what to do. I would guess Williamson would be the option. It looks like Reynolds has switched to left back, and Mercall Zerboni has taken the right back role at this juncture, as Williams comes out to beat Hoy to that one. Yep, Zerboni over at right back now. Reynolds slides over to the left. Barzik and Taylor remain as center halves. Salem playing that holding midfield role for Western New York. Adriana advances the ball for the Flash. Lasada. Back to Lasada from Adriana. Good sliding challenge there from Motts to win it. Plenty of time for Santa Catarina to make a good choice. Chooses Motts on the near side. Tried to bend that around, and really an errant ball there. Want to do better with that. Kolupny wins that. Motts plays it back to her. Now Kolupny's running at defenders. Barzik is the one to mark her first. Kolupny has 3 red shirts in front of her. Waits for a run. It's Motts who just couldn't get it off her toe to her feet. Clever ball there. And then Lasada holds Kolupny. They play on. Johnston. Barzik came over, heads it away, and now Martin with a chance to break. Inside for Lasada. Carly Lloyd came over. Sitch hit the deck. So Western New York certainly looks a little more cautious now with only 10, and there is a substitute warming up on the far side, it appears. Here's Motts. Can't control it, and played out of play by Reynolds. Here comes a substitute. And it is going to be Williamson. Cat Williamson is going to come on now. So Williamson on for the injured Palmer. And Williamson will slide into a right back role early on here, and Zerboni's back to the midfield. Motts keeps this in. Double teamed through the legs of Winino into Lasada. Winino wins that back, and it does go off Lasada for a Chicago throw-in here in the near side. DiBernardo kept that alive, but Adriana Martin was able to win it. Not for long, though. Chicago doing well, hounding the Flash here. Good one-touch ball to the wing, Winino. DiBernardo. Back to Winino. DiBernardo faces up now on Reynolds. DiBernardo to the byline. Looked like it caught a touch, and it did. It will be another Chicago corner kick here in the 34th minute.
And once again, you see the Red Star midfielders getting involved in that attack. You saw Lori Kolupny in there, served a great ball into Motts. Now DiBernardo getting into the attack. And we're not saying that as much about Carly Lloyd, and that's going to be important for, I think, for Western New York, is if they can find their midfielders in the same space.
Here's DiBernardo, low kick, not what she wanted. Lasada was the first one to get to it. Now Adriana Leon collided with Salem. Kolupny wide again, DiBernardo. She's going to get another shot at this. DiBernardo into the penalty area, free shot there, and it's over the top. Great opportunity was Julie Johnson, the defender who was forward, and she just couldn't find the net.
Oh, and that's probably the time now that the Red Stars connected in the box. You know, great driven ball in from DiBernardo, and Julie certainly has made the run and gets position on a defender and just can't quite get over it enough to put that ball in the back of the net. Great chance for the Red Stars.
Yeah, great chance on the volley there. Johnson, typically what you would say, you can't expect a defender to knock that volley home, but she's so talented. That's something you almost expect to see her be able to finish that.
You know, absolutely. And she's played as a goal-scoring threat at Santa Clara. She's played in the midfield and up front for them, and certainly has scored enough goals in her career that you expect that maybe is one she'd love to have back.
Yeah. Barzuk back to Williams. Shaky ball forward here. Motts and Reynolds went up for it, and Barzuk will collect this back, let it go over the touchline and out for a goal kick. So I would think Coach Dames is pretty inspired by his team's performance so far. It's tough to impress him ever, but I'm sure he's excited about the way his team has looked so far in the first 36 minutes of this one.
I would think he's got to be. Certainly, I think Kolupny maybe been a little bit more a factor for the Red than Lloyd has been for Western New York, and I think that's the difference in terms of Chicago getting chances. So I think it's a battle not just of them playing in the midfield, but of the midfielders being able to find the ball in places where they can make dangerous final passes, and in that battle alone, I'd say Red Stars won the battle.
Okay, so first half in the books, as you said, a chess match indeed. We'll look to see how the pieces move in the second half. We'll sign off for now. Be back with you before the start of the second half. Halftime score, Red Stars 0, Western New York Flash 0.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are 2 ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right place at the right time. And with the inevitable last-minute changes, things get even more frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already use TeamSnap to keep their kids on the field and their sanity intact. With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, Jane struggles to stay organized, especially when it comes to getting everyone to the right. It's like a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars. She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact information so she can organize carpools with nearby families. Get started with your free account today and join millions of parents like Jane who already...
Partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
Snap app. It's faster. Way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, whatever your game, whatever your group, Team Snap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
Okay, welcome back to Toyota Park here in Chicago, Illinois, where your halftime score is the Chicago Red Stars 0 and the Western New York Flash 0 in this NWSL matchup. This is Ben Solomon back with Janet Rayfield here for the second half between these two teams. Janet, we saw in the first half some good things from Chicago, some better things that we thought we might see from a team going up against Western New York, who has certainly seemed to be one of the top teams in the league so far.
Well, you know, an experienced team that had a championship run and finished atop of the table already has a game under their belt. So certainly for the Red Stars to come out here, get some possession, have some dangerous balls played in, get some chances. I think the Red Stars are going to be happy with that half as a first half, and certainly want to find a way now to put the ball in the back of the net and come away with some points. You know, it's a game of points, and every point that you get, and the more points they can get in their weight for players like Kristen Press and Melissa Tancredi, the better it's going to be for the Red Stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want the 3 points here. And to get started towards those 3 points, it looks like decided to go to his bench early here, as we now see number Nakia Bywater has checked into the game. Didn't see the sign up, but it looks like she's taken the left flank, which tells me that Adriana Leon has come out of this game. So what do you think of that move there? What do you make of that move as Motts has, and now there is the official word from the sideline there. Number 19, Adriana Leon, taking a seat, and Zakia Bywaters has come into the game from the left flank for Chicago.
You know, I'm not surprised to see Zakia Bywaters enter this match. I certainly think she's a player off the bench.
Motts, the second player in the book for Chicago here in the 57th minute.
And I will have to say the outside backs for Western New York have really kept the flank players from Chicago from getting to the end line and really being able to play a quality ball across. They've stood them up. You know, the opportunity, the lanes they've given for crossing have been deep and behind the goal. Certainly haven't given up a whole lot in terms of playing that ball across from the flank and into the box.
Even when looked like there's been some opportunity for some balls to be played in, Reynolds, Palmer, and now Williamson have equally done great job of blocking a lot of those crosses and forcing some errant passes as well. Winino drops this back for Julie Johnston. Plays his ball to the back post. Lydia Williams up to catch that. No signs of nerves from her, and she restarts it quickly. Well, that took a carom over Brittany Taylor's head. And Jen Hoy reached in there for a foul. Free kick for Western New York.
I think, surprisingly enough, it's actually Vanessa DiBernardo on that foul.
Sorry, excuse me. Vanessa
Didn't
DiBernardo.
expect that physical play there
right.
as she made the run in over the top, and ball came bouncing back to her.
You got to give credit where credit's due when she plays physically. Here's Bywaters now. Bywaters takes a shot, and Williams had to hit it over the top. Oh, may have caught her a little flat-footed there, but Williams did well to deal with that. And a great strike by Bywaters, who has tried to get herself in good position since coming on. Here's a replay. Bywaters, yep, got a punch there. Great play there by Williams to knock that over the top.
Great strike with the left foot, and you know, not a huge prep touch. And Williams does great just to get that save. There wasn't a lot of telegraphing on that shot.
No, it came fast, and Williams did well. Those long-distance shots, Coach Dames may have asked for at halftime. He's giving them, and it almost gave Chicago the 1-0 lead. Instead, it's a corner kick now. DiBernardo on the far side will take this. Sends one into the 6. Up high is Johnston, and in, and Chicago takes the lead. A great start to the season, and it is the rookie, Johnston, who has given the Red Stars the lead.
Rookie to rookie, under 20 world champion to under 20 world championship. Great goal. You know that they're got to be excited about that. Teammates from the U20 World Championship, now teammates here in Chicago. Certainly a great connection to start the season.
And here's the replay, a youth movement in Chicago. DiBernardo to Julie Johnston on the back post, past them all. And the Red Stars have their first lead of the season, and it's against the Western New York Flash. See how they respond after that. A rush of emotion. Western New York now certainly looks a little more interested in things. Here's Carly Lloyd. She's not afraid to shoot from distance, and Johnston, the goal scorer, there with the block.
Yeah, you already see Carly Lloyd, it seems like, trying to get involved now and work. You know, just won over and won that ball, got her foot on it, taking a shot. You know, that's how a world-class national team player is going to respond, and she's going to try to take this team on her shoulders and make something happen here. And I think we got to watch now to see if they can find her with the ball, because she's certainly going to look to hunt for it.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a game-on situation now with for Western New York. Maybe a little bit sluggish, a little sleepwalking through this. Maybe surprised about the resistance they were getting from the Chicago Red Stars, but now they'll be alert and alive here for these last 30 minutes of play as we are an hour into this one. They certainly have earned that 1-0 lead, I'd say, from the way they played so far.
Ben, I have to agree with you. You know, I think they've been in their half. They've created opportunities. They've gotten in on the flank, and they've had some possession in the midfield, and that's certainly been I think, a way for them to earn that.
Vicky Lasada to restart this. Carly Lloyd, as you observed just a few minutes ago, it definitely has looked a lot active. Just had 2 shots get off. Granted, that one was blocked. I think both of them were blocked, but she certainly has looked more active coming through the midfield, and that's one player you do not want to see lining up long range. Blast. Lasada. Kwan was there first. Hoy to Motts. DiBernardo to Bywaters. Bywaters has looked positive. She tries a long strike again, but it was always going wide. Okay, so Aaron Lyons has chosen to respond to the goal here in the 60th minute for Chicago. Wetzel takes up. Looks like she might be a little shuffling between Salem and Wetzel now, as Wetzel looks like she is going to take up a more holding role or maybe swing out here to the near side. But Winino was able to get to it, then kind of ducked out of the challenge from Salem. Here's Carly Lloyd. Sitch hounding her, but Carly Lloyd shrugs her off, now goes for a goal. LeBlanc watches that sail wide.
And I'm not sure that Wetzel's not on, but she does really well and hit that long-range shot.
I think you're absolutely right, as there was Wetzel's first touch back to Reynolds at left back, and Wetzel again now. I think it looks like Wetzel and Salem are now kind of pushing kind of 2 holders, and now Salem kind of looks like heading forward, but it certainly looks like Carly Lloyd is going to be spearheading. Lasada and Sam Kerr look like they're manning the flanks and staying higher and higher up the pitch as we get later and later into this match. It was great to just hear the fans erupt for the women's game like they did after that goal. Still a lot of them on hand here, and still the Fire supporters, the local supporters, making a lot of noise with the drum sets and the cheers down there in the far end of the field.
We're excited to see that. And, you know, I think they felt like the Red Stars earned it and knew their Fire maybe had earned some chances that they didn't get. So everybody happy to see the home team get a goal here.
Here's a casted shot by Adriana. Never on target from her, and Karina LeBlanc will take her time to restart things. Julie Johnston with the header goal for the Red Stars.
You know, certainly probably maybe a little too early to give her Rookie of the Year honors already. But, you know, certainly I think in terms of what she's done controlling this back line and then contributing on the attacking end in terms of scoring the goal, you know, certainly she's done the job the Red Stars drafted her to do and impact the game on both sides of the ball. And she certainly has the ability to do that. And happy to see her get some success.
Your defense, who also has some attacking capabilities as well and good technical ability, it's a luxury. It's got to be a luxury. So Bywaters was looking for this through ball. She gets it, and she's going to get there first. And now she tries to work past Brittany Taylor. Bywaters was able to hold it up, got shoved to the ground, and now let's see here. It's going to be whistled against her. I don't know about that. And then, what do you think?
You know, that's a tough one because she reaches and does a great job of reaching to get that ball and get her body between the ball and the defender. But then she stays on the ground and sort of tries to play and keep her body rolling around on the ground. So you probably have to kind of call her for playing on the ground. Yeah. And it's right here where she uses her body to sort of
right there. Yeah. Pace of Chicago wearing a little bit on this Western New York back line. Taylor did well, though, to stand up to that challenge. Sitch, wide. Motts works against Reynolds. Reynolds bests her again and wins the throw for Western New York.
Yeah, the individual defending of the Western New York back line has been very solid today. And even then, Brittany Taylor and her cohorts back there are doing a great job defensively.
Yeah, they're certainly making the Red Stars work through the midfield, get those good passes through. It hasn't been individual efforts so far from Chicago.
You know, I think the surprise is Western New York really hasn't strung anything together offensively that's been extremely dangerous. They haven't solved this Red Star defense in a way that creates something for them.
And that was a really delayed flag there. That was a
she's going after it. Just raise your flag and let's get on with it.
Right. I think Kolupny even kind of took a peek over the assistant referee and saw the flag was still down. So
and I think the assistant referee looked at her and said, yeah, if you keep going, I'm going to call you offsides.
And I think Kolupny's now smiling and talking to the head referee about it as well. She thought she had gotten away with one. Not so fortunate. Here's Bywaters for Western New York. Not the ball Lloyd wanted to play in, but they retain possession. Wetzel right into Kolupny, and now back to Salem.
You know, you see Carly Lloyd here. She is floating out wide. She's been in central. You know, I think she's had her fair share of dealing with.
And sent a good cross in here. Nothing there. Maybe appeals for a little handball or maybe a corner. Ooh. And it looks like Jackie Santa Catarina kind of clipped a heel there. And with her injury problems, you question whether she was going to be able to go the full 90. And now it looks like she is going to need some medical attention.
Yeah, a couple players in the box and may have landed funny and turned an ankle or that Chicago Red Stars goal. Whether it woke up the Flash or not, I don't know, but it certainly woke up Carly Lloyd.
Yeah, absolutely. And they depend on her, you know, especially with Abby Wambach out, they depend so much on Carly to operate the offense and to get, you know, as great as Lasada and Adriana have been, you know, you need that engine in the midfield to make things work. And that's the role Carly Lloyd plays for this team. And to get her involved is going to be critical for Western New York in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, and, and it's with Kolupny and DiBernardo and Carly Lloyd, what makes them great midfielders is they can be dangerous in and of their own final pass. So she's starting to do that, and it's a double threat that makes it really difficult to defend. And the Red Stars are certainly going to have to make sure they keep an eye on and are aware of where Carly Lloyd is and where players she can play to are.
So the Red Stars trainer out there tending to Santa Catarina. So they undid some tape on both shin guards, so I would take that as a sign. And they're handing her a yellow penny. And now I do see a defender up. We'll see if we can get a number. It might be Johnson.
I would expect that to be Samantha Johnson.
I would expect it
to be coming in that role. And again, I think
here's a shot.
Cross put herself in that shooting channel, passing channel, whatever it was going to be for Carly Lloyd. Julie put herself in that position to block that shot, and it's her ability to read the game and anticipate that really does make her so versatile and such a great defender.
And it was Sam Johnson who has come on now. Western New York starting to put a little more pressure on that back line, so she will certainly be tested. Touches it forward here. Taylor stepped in front of Hoy and now shakes her off. Kwan stuck a foot in there to get it to Kolupny, who avoided Carly Lloyd. Tried to draw the foul net out there by Winino, who turned that over to Johnston. Kolupny. Jin Hoy. Motts. Ends up at the feet of Hoy, who can't control, and it goes out of play. And all of a sudden now, not as much possession, not as fluid.
Stars really need to settle down when they have the ball and try to keep it and make Western New York have to chase for a little while, because the Red Stars certainly have been doing their share of defending here in the last 10 minutes.
Sitch takes that one right off the face, and it ends up to the feet of Carly Lloyd, who never afraid to get that goal over a team they knew they're probably the underdog coming in against, but just to build the confidence after that goal. Now can they see it through here in the last 15 minutes?
And I think that'll be important. Can this young team find, after goals, I think the other team always gets energy. And you see, maybe get a second goal and put this game away. Or at least a little farther out of reach.
A little further. Yeah, if it's for those who have watched the Chicago Red Stars play, especially last season, end of game scenarios were nothing if not dramatic. So, a lot of Red Stars fans are probably hoping to just see a nice, calm 1-0 game for the rest of the time, but never.
Then certainly that's what they were doing in the first half, and now if we can connect that pass and hang on to it for just a little bit, that certainly will help the Red Stars not create this kind of situation.
Right, which is almost an odd person break there, as Winino kind of slid back into the central to cover for Johnston, who was forced out wide. Western New York is still going to get a throw in here. Well, that looked like it's out of play, and it is. So the Red Stars a little fortunate there. Off the errant 1-2.
Difficult to prepare for, and you can train all you want and do the fitness, but getting a sense of the mental and physical demands of a 90-minute match at this level and the emotions that go with the first match, certainly I think a challenge for players to do this early in the season.
Right. Yeah, I think each side one more sub remaining. Still 1-0. Chicago Red Stars in front of their season opener here at Toyota Park. The second part of a doubleheader that featured the Chicago Fire earlier today, and a great evening for soccer in Chicago. Good, strong challenge there. Reynolds wins another one away from Motts.
And Western New York has certainly won the battle on the flanks in their defensive third. I think the
set piece was what put Chicago in front off the corner kick. Bywaters has looked rather positive in her role today, and has found DiBernardo. DiBernardo wide for Motts now. See what Alyssa can do. She sends this across, but no one really challenging Williams.
You know, and again, the angle that she was given for that service really didn't allow her to find someone in the box. So again, the patient defending on the flank, another challenge for the Red Stars.
You can see there on that replay, Reynolds, great job just kind of funneling that cross right into Williams, and no one from the Red Stars up to challenge her. Adriana back to receive this ball. Try to slip it into Carly Lloyd. Couldn't win it. Kolupny. Lloyd touches it back to Wetzel. Salem. Tough ball here for Williamson. She gets to it, though. Bywater's marks. Salem. All the way back to Barzak. Here's Vicky Lasada. Good bit of skill here to turn it outside wide for Reynolds. Lots of space opening up now for Western New York. Not quite in the danger area. A little more patience maybe. That one played out for a goal kick. And it looks like this will be the final substitute coming in now for Western New York. Is this...
Okay.
Yeah, Emma
18, I think, Emma Keat.
Yeah, Emma Keat coming on now, giving instructions to Carly Lloyd.
Yeah. And taking off Adriana Martin, who's done a great job of holding the ball up tonight, but maybe hasn't been as dangerous in terms of getting opportunities on goal as Western New York would have liked, and maybe fresh legs they think can take on this central defense from the Red Stars that has been pretty much a wall most of the evening.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more speed, switching their approach a little bit with Emma now playing up top. Jen Hoy gives chase to Barzak, forces Barzak to play it out of play, and the Red Stars will finally get another foray into their attacking third of the field here with this throw-in.
And she's still sprinting. She started the game sprinting, and she's still sprinting. And I'm sure Coach Dames is going to be happy with for sure the effort that Jen Hoy has given him tonight.
Yeah, I actually heard his voice booming above the crowd, urging her, I'll say, to give chase to that one. And so, you mentioned earlier we might see Haley Brock here. It depends on how much Jen has left in the tank after all these sprints up and back. Still looked full of life there, though.
A sprinter always has one more sprint left in them, right?
Especially a forward, right? Lloyd flicked this forward. Lasada, great control, and now goes forward. Sam Kerr is there, and so is Quan. 3 Red Stars give chase. Kerr is able to win this, and then Emma Keat liked her chances early on.
Now, certainly caught the Red Stars there a little disorganized. LeBlanc looked a little bit off her line, and 3 Red Stars around the ball. Ball bounces out, and really a chance that Western New York Flash probably should have done a little bit better with.
Yeah, maybe had a little bit more time there to kind of work between Keaton and Sam Kerr, but Red Stars let off the hook. Kerr inside for Lloyd. Had it knocked away. Johnson got there. Looked like it may have caught a deflection. We'll see. They're not going to see it that way. It goes to Western New York. Taylor. Wetzel. Deflected and taken away. Kolupny. DiBernardo. Bywaters. It's a little space here for Bywaters to work in. Being chased by Williamson. Kat Williamson on her. Stuck her foot in. Couldn't win it from Bywaters. Bywaters to the byline now. Took a shove and gives up the goal kick.
And the Western New York defense is starting to push forward a little bit and giving the Red Stars a couple of opportunities now to take on. Zakia had it and was running at their 2 back. But again, they defend that flank well.
As Zakia just couldn't get the cross away. It's probably the missing piece there. Again, still solid defending from that back line of Western New York, defending with numbers, defending well. Bywaters. take another look at that play there.
Certainly a little shove sort of helps them defend that flank.
right,
You know, certainly a little bit of not going to let her get to that ball right there along the end line.
DiBernardo called for a handball there, so Western New York will restart. 84th minute, still 1-0. Red Stars clinging to their lead in their season opener, looking for the 3 points. Western New York pushing forward. Exhausted their substitutes, though, so this is it for them. Good steal by Motts to step in. Now Kolupny has it. Kolupny just booms it deep now. Just trying to relieve some pressure.
You know, good captain can sense when her team is a little bit disorganized and
so.
said, I'm going to make sure they don't go at my team when they're but you can see Western New York pushing some numbers forward, and it's causing the Red Stars midfield to sort of be a little bit deeper, and they're finding space in front of that midfield to serve balls and make it difficult for the Chicago Red Stars defense.
Here's Carly Lloyd shielding Julian Sitch. Winino did well to slide in and win that challenge in front of Keat. Carly Lloyd, and Winino puts that out of play. Johnson forward. Losada all the way back, almost to their defensive line. Here's Williamson. Losada to Salem. This ball's played in. Sam Kerr just couldn't get to her. Quan got a foot in. Sam Kerr's finding herself in more and more dangerous positions. Back, Losada gives a go, and LeBlanc is there. Similar to a goal she scored last week against the Washington Spirit with a little floater there as we take a look at this again. Losada lined this up, tried to find it to the far corner. See LeBlanc a little nervous at first, but the veteran gets there.
I think Losada saw what I did, a little open net, and certainly I think maybe she thought she had put that a little bit out of LeBlanc's reach. But there's an experienced goalkeeper, knows her angles, has great footwork, and gets there and really makes what some goalkeepers might find is a little bit more difficult to a fairly routine save.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was into the breeze. Might have gotten caught up there a little bit. Quan plays that off of Wetzel. Red Stars will have another throw. 87th minute. Red Stars trying to see this one through. Wetzel puts that out of play. Rachel Quan for the throw. And that throw will bounce over DiBernardo, and then we'll head out of play.
That's one, the Red Stars really should try to keep that ball, and you certainly don't want it to go out of bounds.
Sitch couldn't control. Wide for Reynolds. Ketty. Salem. Williamson. Pass by Waters. And now there's a lot of space here for Williamson to line up a good cross. Sends it in. Got it blocked, though, by Quan. Losada headed it forward. And now punched clear. Jen Hoy's giving chase, and Salem is able to get a foot in there to win it back to her two center backs. Barzuk now. Bounding this one forward to the far side off the back of Losada's head. Winino heads it clear for Motts, who boots it forward. And the Red Stars just trying to waste time and get it clear of their own end now.
Almost 5 on the back line. Certainly the midfield dropping in. And Chicago's defending and doing what they can to protect this lead. but they certainly need to get a hold of the ball and do what they can to get it on the other end.
Another long distance shot there by Western New York. Couldn't find the target. That was from Lasada, and so we'll be out for a goal kick for the Red Stars. LeBlanc, like a good veteran she is, will take her time. I'll line this up, tell some people to spread out, go deep, go left.
Certainly can take much time and still let the referee think she's trying to play.
That's right. Johnson takes a physical challenge there, won it for a moment, but then out of play, and now Western New York has it.
It looks like they've pushed Brittany Taylor up front now to try and see if they can't make something happen here. Into the game, and Western New York's going to throw everything forward and see what they can make happen.
Yeah, nothing to lose now. In a losing position, would love to get a point away from it. Jin Hoy just shoves Barzik down. Don't think you need a foul there if you're Jin Hoy. Maybe just force her to go back.
Yeah, force her to go back. Maybe it's an errant pass that you can pick off, and you've got a chance to play the game out on that half. Again, a free kick, a goal kick, you're giving them a chance to serve the ball into your end, and that's not what you want when you're up 1-0 with time ticking off the clock.
And ticking it is. We are in the 90th minute. We're about to approach 90 minutes on the nose here. Red Stars have to hold on. Johnston giving chase and does pretty well to keep that, and it will be a goal kick, says the head referee. Good work there from Johnston. Smart play.
Just a few minutes ago, she was the one who came through the crowd and cleared a ball out. Has the composure and the savvy to escort that ball out of bounds, I like to say. Certainly playing like a seasoned veteran here. And Coach James has got to be happy with that. You put a rookie in your back line and give her some responsibility. Got to be happy with the way she's dealt with that tonight.
Sitch played that out of play quickly. Retaken by Western New York. Carly Lloyd on the far side. Watched very closely by two Red Stars. And injury time here. A little miscommunication. Gives the ball back to Carly Lloyd. Still stuck at her feet. Now Sitch is out of there with it. And she's fouled by Lloyd. Good team defending there by Chicago.
You got to know where Carly is, and certainly she has drawn some attention. And you get three around her, and even then it's hard to get that shot off. And, probably not what Carly wants to do in terms of fouling there, because now Chicago gets to milk the clock and put the ball back down on their end.
Johnston restarts play. Over the head of Motts. DiBernardo. Western New York now another chance to Here we go. It will be Brock. It's on for Jin Hoy.
And maybe that was the last sprint, and it's time for the next sprinter to come on and, just make it difficult for Western New York to play an easy ball and somebody to run down those balls now that Chicago can play into their end and really try to put this game
better there by Sam Kerr to get to Salem. Lasada couldn't find Salem on the back pass, and DiBernardo is able to get it clear. Reynolds gave chase, and Brock also right there, performing her role. Winino cut out the pass that was intended for Kitty. And now forward, and can Brock get on her horse here? Brock trying to chase this down, but it's going to roll out of play. I've stolen one from the Western New York Flash. 1-0, maybe not a steal. They probably earned that game. They've looked very impressive to start the season.
Yeah, I have to say, I think they earned that victory over the Western New York Flash, and credit to them. Played a solid game, did some of the things they're wanting to do. Certainly this young defense proved it could stand up to some talented Western New York team that with a...
Maybe not stealing one in the sense of how this game actually ended up playing out. Red Star certainly came in as probably the underdog in this match. A lot of people were suggesting, but over the course of the game, over the complete 90 minutes, Chicago certainly looked to be up to the challenge of playing with a team like Western New York.
Absolutely, Ben. You you got to think Western New York coming in as the regular season champs last year. We're the favorite team coming in here, but I think this league is improving every year. The teams are improving. The players that are entering this league, both from the college draft and the players abroad, you're going to see the level of play continue to improve in this league, and I certainly think you see a level of play from that Chicago Red Stars that's above maybe what they had at last season, and with still some players to add to that. That's what's got to be exciting for the Red Stars.
Very exciting.
You take that team that played here tonight with the organization and the midfield play, and you add to that Kristen Press and Tancredi. That's a pretty solid team now going forward.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. So your choice for MVP tonight, is it an obvious choice?
For me it is, because I think you saw her play on both sides of the ball. You got to give Julie Johnson, I think, certainly Kolupny, I think, did a yeoman's work in the midfield and created some things. But when you organize that defense and you put the game winner in, hard not to make Julie Johnson the MVP in this game.
I think I have to agree. And, one player we didn't know how was going to fit in there, and I totally agree with Kolupny as well. Vanessa DiBernardo, excellent in her rookie start. But Julian Sitch, too, played tremendously well in that holding midfield role for Chicago.
Absolutely. I said, I think before the broadcast, that she was going to be the workhorse in the midfield, that Kolupny and DiBernardo were going to get forward, we're going to be creative, we're going to do those things. And Sitch then was going to have to work hard because Carly Lloyd was going to make her work, and she answered that call tonight. There's a Chris Armas jersey across the way from us, and that's who she was tonight. She was Chris Armas in terms of that.
Yeah, and so you're looking at some of the replays from tonight's game, and obviously, I think another player who we just saw there who worked really well was Zakiya Bywaters. Had a good showing for her first outing this year.
Absolutely. I think she came off the bench into the second half and made some things happen. There's Julie Johnson getting in. Like I said, that's a key block. That ball was looking to go to goal. And it's her anticipation to get into that space to make that block, and there she's stepping forward to win a ball and creating a foul, and here's what we talked about all night. That defensive Western New York making it really difficult for the Red Stars to get anything off of their flank penetration, to get to the inline and play a good ball across, or to get a service angle where they could find a teammate in the box.
Yeah, I think overall just a fantastic night for Chicago. And here's a look again. This is the lead up to the goal. Vanessa DiBernardo, we'll take a look at it again. Played a great ball in here for Johnson, who found the header.
Yeah, Vanessa's been a restart. I guess you would call her restart specialist and maybe service specialist. She served corner kicks for us at the University of Illinois. She took the corner kicks for the U20 women's team. So it's a place where she feels comfortable. But let me tell you, putting Lori Kolupny and Vanessa DiBernardo out on the ball, that takes some attention. You saw the players from Western New York that were out there to defend that, making sure there was not a short corner. That means there's some space in the box. And even if you're marked up, you just have a little bit more space to run in. So just the danger of having those two on the ball out on the corner, I think really creates that opportunity for the Red Stars in the box, and Julie does a great job of getting up and finishing that one.
Yeah, so wrapping up tonight 1-0, but more opportunities to see this great Chicago Red Stars team. They looked very good tonight. We'll look for them again at home next Saturday, April 26th, against the Washington Spirit. So we'll look for you out there then, and then the next home game after that is on May 11th at home against the Houston Dash. Until next time, my name is Ben Solomon, along with Janet Rayfield. It was awesome having you with me tonight in the booth. It was great fun. I hope you had a good time.
I had a blast, Ben, and I hope we get to continue to do this, and the Red Stars continue to have a great season. And I know Western New York Flash is also going to continue to work. It's early in the year, and a lot of teams have some players that will come back. I know Abby Wambach wants to get back with this team.
Just a slightly good player.
And certainly it's going to be an exciting season for the NWSL, and whether it's here in Chicago or Kansas City, I encourage the fans of women's soccer to get out and watch this league because it's a high level of play. It's some quality women's soccer, and it's a great opportunity to.
It's a great match. Final score here: Chicago Red Stars 1, the Western New York Flash 0. Have a great night.
With 2 kids playing on 4 different teams, frustrating. Thankfully, each team uses TeamSnap, making Jane's life a breeze. After downloading the app and activating her account online, schedules are automatically synced to all of Jane's calendars, She gets team notifications on the go by email and text. Maps and directions are a single tap away. And she can even view team contact kids on the field and their sanity intact.